Hello, welcome to our Dream to Rise podcast. And I'm so honored and happy to have a guest here who is from Croatia. Imagine we're going global, and I love this and connecting with people around the world. And you know what? Our guest speaker, she's called Lily by a spiritual name, is an artist, a modern mystic, and spiritual life coach. She is passionate about exploring identity through psychology, spirituality, and mysticism. Her journey has led her to discover the power of self awareness and the importance of living in alignment with her true self and true nature. As she says, the journey of healing led her to realize that there was never something wrong with her. Opposite, she said, I was just running away from my true, authentic self. Let me introduce to you, my friends, Ligita Nasickaite. Oh my, Ligita! I I knew it. I practiced it before the recording. How would you pronounce again your last name?
Nasickaite.
Oh, there, Ligita Nasickaite. Oh,
Beautiful. You made it. Woo!
yes, yes. But as what I have mentioned, really, um, I'm truly honored, and I have this so much joy within me, being connected to friends around the world. Imagine from Croatia. It's 7 o'clock here. It's early morning here in Virginia and afternoon in Croatia. And this is what I value. I value human connection and knowledge sharing. And this is what we're going to have today. Ligita sharing her story with us and how she was able to, as what in the introduction, she how what led her to discover the power of self-awareness. So let us start. Let's hop in, Ligita. I'm so happy to see you. Okay, now, as what I've asked you before the recording, before this interview, I would like to ask you if you can tell us something about yourself that brought you to where you are right now. If you would be able to share your story with us.
Mm. Yeah, so probably before I answer this question, I need to say where I am right now.
Oh, oh, it's not in Croatia?
By the way, originally I'm from Lithuania,
Lithuania.
but at the moment I am in Croatia.
Oh, I see. Oh, see. Oh, that's nice. How
Yeah,
is
but
there
still,
in
still,
Croatia?
still the same Europe, and in Croatia is very beautiful, very warm, and I'm enjoying the summer.
I've heard about Croatia that even my son who I think he's planning to visit Croatia. He's looking forward to it because he said that it's a beautiful place.
Oh
Oh, I
yeah.
wish I'll be able to visit you as well.
Maybe let's connect. Who knows?
Yes. Yes. Okay, but thank you again. Welcome. So going back to the your story, I am excited to hear your story.
Beautiful. I love sharing the stories. I am a story writing. I express myself the best, my emotions, my thoughts through writing the stories. And my actually teacher from the first grade, she told to everybody that you will see when Lily grow up, she will be a famous author. And looks like I'm going towards that because I love writing and this is a part of my authenticity. So where I am now is the stage where I am accepting the way I am and choosing to live in my truth, in my authenticity. Because as you introduced me very beautifully, that's exactly how my life had been looking, I would say, that I was constantly believing that there was something inherently bad about me. And also getting the judgments from outside really impacted my self-confidence, I would say, confidence about myself. And I started going deep within myself. So I started exploring the topic of trauma. I started being literally obsessed about the healing myself. So as more I was healing myself, as deeper I went to analyze and understand myself. And in that depth, that's what I discovered, that there was never something wrong with me. The problem was that I just didn't accept myself the way I was. So I was running away from that. And that's where I had to put a stop and say, enough is enough. That's me. That's how I express myself. Of course, there is always space for improvement, and we need to receive the criticism from other people. And that's what I have been learning lately, especially how not to be ignorant to criticism from outside, but how not to take it deep into my soul, that it affects me in a negative way. So I guess this is it, the place where I am right now, just accepting myself the way I am, and also not being, not ignoring the possibilities to grow in those areas where I see that I could grow.
Mhm. I would just like to ask, because you mentioned about, yes, you being judged, being criticized by other people. I don't know if it's okay with you to share what type of criticism did they, uh, I mean, show to you? I mean, always tell you, or because I've shared with you my story before the recording, wherein I was being judged as well when my abusive husband died and was blocked by his family. And they were telling me that, oh, it was me who was
Mm.
the cause of his death. So they stopped connecting with me. And I was judging. I cannot go out. I cannot socialize because I'm afraid to be judged. Fear
Mm.
of being judged and fear of being rejected. What what were the comments did they tell you uh, that made you feel really so? I'm sure you were depressed during that time, right? That made you feel that way, that, oh, it impacted your self-confidence.
Mhm. So first of all, I want to mention that when it comes to spirituality, judgments I received not only verbally.
Oh,
I discovered that I am extremely highly sensitive person. Actually, we all are highly sensitive, just not everybody is aware of that. I became aware of telepathy, how I am able to hear the thoughts of other people, even if they are in the distance. I am able to feel what they feel about me, even when they are in the distance. And
oh, this is
all of,
telepathy.
yes, this is empathic telepathy, how I call it. That's why it's so much important to understand, to have that good relationship with self, because then we know our own energy, and then we are able to discern when the energy from the outside comes in the shape and form of the thought or a feeling. Then we can recognize that, wait a second, this thought doesn't belong to me. This thought about myself, it doesn't feel like it's my thought, or that feeling about myself it doesn't feel like my feeling about myself. And then I started discovering that, aha, so that's how people think about me. And that's how they feel about me. So that's what I discovered, that my the judgment that I received towards me, mostly it was not verbal. Also, I got verbal rejections as a result of that judgment, and it is mostly about the way I express myself, because I'm a person very blunt. I don't like hiding behind the silence. I don't like, uh, let's say like that. I like when we sit and talk things out. I like when we address the issue instead of living in the la la land and pretending that everything is fine. Because that pile of shit will grow up. Sorry for my vocabulary, but that's also the part of me, of authentic me. I don't hold back vocabulary if I see that it's true. So let's talk bluntly about the truth. So we change the result, we change how we relate in the relationship. Because if nobody speaks about the issue stays and it grows. So I'm the one who is speaking about issues.
Yeah, exactly. And I agree with you. And communication is plays a major role here. And I am the same person. Tell me straight in front of my face what you don't like. Let's discuss and then let's work things out. Don't talk to me. Don't talk behind my back. And that's what I don't
Mm.
like. But you mentioned a while ago about this telepathy, wherein you're thinking of what other people are thinking about you. But you mentioned that you have discovered that it's all about in your mind. I don't know if I got it correctly, because actually, whatever is in your thoughts reflects back to you because it becomes a reality. That's what I've discovered. I've been nurturing negative thoughts in my mind. And what happens? Negative things happen to me because I believe that when we nurture whatever is in our thoughts becomes feelings. And these feelings turns into action. And this action turns into results. So when I feel that, oh, I'm being judged by others, this is what I've discovered throughout my journey. I've been being judged by others. That's what I always think, in my thoughts. So how do I feel? I feel, I feel down. I feel depressed because no one is there for me and they're putting me down. And what is the action that I'm taking in? I try to hide away. I stop connecting with people, which happened to me when I shared my story. And then what's the result? Depression, not valuing my life. And that's how when you mentioned about the energy, I agree with that because what you show mirrors back to you. That's what other people would mirror. So what I do now, you know what, in my gym, okay, I sh- I spread I spread so much. I'm silly inside the gym. I would just shout and I would just say, yes, go, go, go. And what happens to the class? They're also noisy. And my gym instructor would tell me, oh, we miss you. Well, please don't be absent during my class because it brings out life. And that's what I was telling. I don't know, do you feel the same way? Because when you shared about the energy, that's how I felt. I don't know if we are aligned in that aspect.
Yes, it is the same. How to say? Basically, we are on the same page towards this topic. And this is actually my recent lesson that I'm going through right now, is discovering how much how am I communicating about that which I see that is not working well. Because this my need of uh, expressing what doesn't work came from toxic positivity that I was raised upon, because I was raised in the family where we had to put the mask on, that everything is perfect. Our family looked very perfect in the public, but behind closed doors, that was not the case. And as a result of that, I started rebelling and talking about what needs to be fixed. And I noticed that as more I was talking about what doesn't work, what needs to be fixed, as more things started falling apart in my life. Isn't it a paradox? So I realized that I spoke into existence that which I didn't want. So now I'm learning how to change the frequency of my words, how I speak.
Yes, most of the time, what I've learned, no, and I've as I grow older, we were taught during our childhood days to react to a situation. Whenever we discover a situation or someone tells us something which we don't like, we tend to be angry. There's resentment, right? But now I've discovered, why not respond instead of reacting? Responding in a more matured way, putting yourself to the shoes of the other person, and see how are you able to meet halfway and see how you can help each other. And because I'm sure the other person is also in that situation, and he's not aware that he's reacting to a situation as well. That's the thing when you mentioned about being careful with what we say. That's someone even advised me, a friend of mine, think twice or three times before you open your mouth, right? They were saying, is it nice? Is it good for the other person? Is it worth sharing it? Will you feel good after you say that statement? So I'm now being guided, and I must admit, I am also very active in terms of whenever I feel that I am being put down. The more I react, the more the relationship is being broken. That's what I see.
And I would like to ask you actually now, what does it mean for you reacting? Because
Again, sorry, I didn't get you.
What does it mean for you to react?
For me to react is because, like, for example, if someone tells me that, oh, you're you don't what's this? If I see someone who's putting down someone or belittling someone, I tend to go and react or tell him, hey, you're not perfect. Well, I always defend the other person, and not looking at it in a more matured way, in a holistic way, wherein, why did he comment on that? Why did you make that statement belittling that person, not knowing probably this person did something and I'm already accusing him of something else because that was my initial reaction. And that should be that should not be the case. I should be there to listen. That's why in communication, active listening is very important. Empathy.
Yeah, and no assumptions, because you pointed very
Yes.
well that usually people, it's very natural for people to accuse the loudest one.
Mhm,
But very often times, the loudest one is the one who tells the truth,
mhm,
which others don't want to look at.
mhm. They want to
So
be
that,
in the good side. I mean, no, in the good image. Yeah, that's why.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah. And also when it comes to reacting, why I asked you this, because some people react with silence. This is also a reaction.
Yes.
So that I wanted to ask you, what does it mean for you reacting? Because it can be also the silence that reacts.
Even in a relationship, when the two of you, the couples are having an argument, and then this person, one guy, the guy probably, or the woman, the wife, oh, usually the wives are yak 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 yak. Before I said it, and then, but then she's telling an issue or sharing an issue that, hey, why are you not fixing this? Why are you? And then what's the reaction of the husband? He would just keep quiet and leave instead of um, solving the issue. But then it also, that's why reaction, be careful on how you react to a situation, because you actually, the result is you're distancing yourself from the other person instead of being there, helping solve the problem. Just like that example, what should have the wife done to solve the issue, right?
So what it's all do is vulnerable communication that is missing. Meaning, and that's what I learned about myself also. And it all comes down to the topic of our own shadow. If we are not accepting our own darkness, then we will not accept criticism from the outside, even if that criticism is correct. So the moment I started accepting my faults and come why I have those defense mechanisms that comes from childhood and so on, conditioning. When I started accepting the wholeness of who I am, not only the good parts, but also not that good parts, I started feeling more open towards what other people have to say about me.
Mhm.
So,
Yes.
and I see now that people that I spoke to, what I saw that was not working out in our relationship, I saw the same pattern that those people, they have self-defense mechanism and they don't want to listen because they didn't make peace with their own flaws.
That's usually the case. Um, how we were raised during our childhood years really made an impact to what the person we are right now. Just like for example, you put in a clear water, what's this? Grape juice. That's what the traumas we experienced before when we were I mean, probably our grandparents, their traumas are being passed on to our parents, to their children. And the parents, that is being passed on to us as well. But do we still need to keep going? I mean, moving the same direction? Why can't we heal ourselves, learn to, as what you're doing, discover why am I doing these things? And I could see it, it's a pattern from my grandparents, from my parents, and now to us. Let's stop it. How? Through, like, if you need help, get a life coach. If you need coaches available, therapists, if you really need a therapist. So this, we are pouring clear water. When it overflows, the color of the grape juice will disappear and it will become clear. So let us overflow ourselves with healing. And then how? By sharing compassion, showing kindness, showing love to other people. And it overflows. And this is what my vision is all about. Spread sunshine and happiness to all. So this may create a ripple effect. I know we are living in a very chaotic world. A lot of hate, a lot of division. Why not from us? I'm sure we can help solve the problem through with using. I mean, through us. It may not be grand, but baby steps. That's why I'm doing this, interviewing you, because I know this will help other people who are listening. Little baby steps, making them aware, inspiring them, empowering them will help them really live the life they love. And just if you think just like what happened to me in my past, my children, when I asked them before, did I show appreciation? And then they immediately told me no. For me, it was a slap on my face. I tried because I was applying what I've learned from my parents. Very authoritarian. Do this, do this, do this. No question asked. But what happened? They distanced themselves from me. Instead of them approaching me to ask questions, to share their problems, they go to their friends. And I don't want that to happen. I want them to be their mom, their guide, their friend, wherein they could anytime share their problem with me. And we could help solve the problem together. So now, I even shared to my mom, I had to adjust. Even though she would tell me, oh, you don't know, you've changed on how you discipline. Mom, I need to change. This new generation is really different from our past generation. I need to adapt to where they are right now so that they may be able to open up and I may be able to hear where they're coming from. See what happened in my family because I kept instilling or disciplining them the old ways. But now we've come to be more open, just like friends. But they know their boundaries because I'm their mom. There's still respect.
Beautiful. And I really love the fact that you were able to step over your own pride, I would say, because as older we grow, as bigger our ego, not bigger, as more rigid our ego becomes, and as less flexible usually people are to change. But you are such a beautiful example of that age is not indicator of not changing.
Exactly.
So everybody can change. And my mom used to tell me that don't try to change me, I'm too old for
Yeah.
that. And that's what I told her, that okay, don't change, but don't ask me to stay in the same level where you are, because I am changing.
Yeah.
And if you're going to start losing connection with me, it's not because of me, it's because you resist to change. And I can't do anything because to sit in that place where you are is just too heavy for me.
I
So
love that. I love that you were able to voice out to your mom. Sometimes we need
yeah,
to voice it out, and for them, it's a sign of disrespect. And I'm
exactly.
and
And
I'm
that's what actually I'm going through right now. What I shared with you, that I'm learning about the power of my authentic voice, because in childhood, my voice was uh, repressed because of authoritative power. The way you described yourself, that's how my dad was and still is. He's like this and no different way. It's not possible to be different. And I'm not agreeing with that. So our ways are departing and we are not able anymore to connect with one another.
it's difficult. It's difficult. And now my mom is aging. Um, she's still now. I moved her here to Virginia. Being a caregiver alternately with my sister, and this is what I'm learning now also from her. Yes, she has a set of mind, very stubborn, fixed mindset, but it's, you know what? I'm learning something new. This is a new chapter of my life wherein the elders are there, will be going to that route as well. And I'm telling myself, and my children are watching also. I mean, tell mom, they're old, and because there are times that we argue most of the time, and I see them saying, just be patient and be understanding. And
Mm,
and I'm glad my children and even my siblings are telling me this. It humbles me. And now it's my turn to take care of them. And just it's not a matter it's not a matter of, hey, I'm always right and they're wrong, but it's just that they were raised that way. They were raised that way, and it's hard for us to adjust, but sometimes we need to adjust as well. Yeah, it's hard. Yeah, it's hard.
Uh,
I
I would say,
so
but it's very important to make sure that when we adjust, that we don't lose ourselves.
exactly, and that's what I was telling my siblings and my mom. I will take care of you, but I need to take care of myself first.
Exactly.
That's why I always ask them. This is a requirement that I ask them. I have to go to the gym once a
Mm,
day, 1 hour a day. Just let me go to the gym because this will recharge me. Because I won't be able to support you if I'm down. I need
mm,
to be there to give support. You cannot help someone from an empty cup. That's what I've been telling them.
mm,
I need self-care. That's why health and well-being is the first thing that I work on in terms of in my program.
mm,
Because if you're not taking care of yourself, you won't be able to connect with people uh, successfully. So now going back, it's all about I'm sorry, but I'm glad that we are both in the same uh, line, same path. How old are your parents?
Oh, good question. Born at 61, 62, so will be something
Oh,
like 60 something, over 60s.
you were born in you
They
were
were born.
in 1961,
61 and 62. Ah,
same age, same age. See, I came from that generation wherein I was like that. but it's just a matter of me changing. If you're with
Exactly. And you inspire me so much. I want to show you as an example to my own parents and tell them that, look, yes, it's possible to change. So it's not problem in me.
Yes, yes. For the two relationship, for the two in a relationship, two needs to work.
Yeah.
It's a two-way traffic. It's not always one-sided. You have
I
uh,
I love saying it takes two to tango.
exactly two to tango. Exactly. So now, in terms of what you're doing, what's your goal? Because I know you're working on this with your with your parents. You're
Mhm.
changing that frequency, and that is also good. Because like me, that's how you change your energy, change the frequency.
Mhm.
And what are you doing now in terms of you dealing with your parents?
Now I am reflecting a lot. I'm giving myself a lot of time of silence and space, and I'm journaling. Uh, I'm putting my emotions down on the paper, my thoughts, and noticing the patterns of my thinking
Mhm.
and patterns of my emotion, and also the patterns of what kind of people I am dealing with. What the same pattern do they all have? And then I'm learning a lot about myself and about others. And what I have learned so far is that the frequency of my communication was not very nice. So that's what I'm changing. I accepting that I was not a good communicator. And also I'm changing, I'm learning how to communicate more vulnerably, meaning from the heart, not from the mind. Because I noticed that in my communication, I was pretty judgmental towards other people. I admit this. Uh, and it was my way of running away from vulnerability. By judging the pointing the finger into another, I was escaping to tell to that person that, hey, your behavior made me feel this and that way. Instead, I said, no, you're wrong. You did this wrong. La, la, la. It's all attention on another person when attention is supposed to be on me and how it affects me. So I'm changing the way I communicate and the way I express myself.
Lovely, lovely. Self-awareness is the start, the basic towards change. But what action steps will you be doing? What will you be
Mm.
doing now since you're now aware of all these things? What change or what action steps will you be doing in terms of how you interact with your parents?
Mm. Mm. Well, I can tell you honestly, now it was happening the fight between my heart and my ego. My ego doesn't want to reach out while my heart says, hey, call them.
Tell them. That's
Yeah.
that's the big thing. And I'm sure your parents will are longing to hear from you. Has it been a while that you have not spoken to them?
Quite a while, I would say.
Like how
Like,
many months or weeks?
like from with dad from the beginning of June, with mom from the end of June,
So a month.
like a few months.
That okay. And how how do you think will impact them when you give them a call?
It depends.
No, I
I
mean, you've already you're now aware of how to communicate, really, no?
uh-huh,
So that's a big step for you,
yeah.
change, no? So when you apply what you have discovered, I'm sure it's going to be more loving, not addressing it in a direct way, no?
Mhm.
What do you think will be the reaction, response, not reaction, towards you when you show that kind of attitude towards or behavior towards them?
You know what? I think I'm coming to the acceptance that I can't control how other people receive me.
Yes,
Uh,
I know, but then just like what we have discussed about reaction and response, if we react negatively, then that will be mirrored back to us. And
yeah.
when we respond or positively, what do you think will be the response?
You know what? With this belief, I don't agree 100% because I had the situations when um, I was holding the space for the emotional expression of another person. It was my mom. Uh, and I was meeting her with love, with compassion, with patience towards her own emotional process. And whatever I said with love and compassion, it didn't hit her doors at all. She was completely like blocked from love, from what I was trying to convey in the most loving way, because her walls were higher than love.
Do you think she experienced so much trauma also before?
It's massive amount. I know all of her story because I was at some point her psychologist, which was a mistake.
Oh, okay.
So I know everything, every single detail of her marriage with my dad. So I know that we can be as loving as we are, but it doesn't mean that it will impact another person. Maybe not instantly, maybe more time
No,
needs to
I
pass.
don't think it will be instantly, just like what I'm doing now with my mom. It's been years, years. That's
Yeah.
why there are times that I will reach a point that it's already up here. But I'm so happy that my siblings are there telling
Mm,
me need to be patient. So I have to lower down so that do I do? Again, health and well-being. That's what to help me recharge, help me see things in a health and well-being does not only include physical activity. It includes
mhm,
mental, emotional, and spiritual. That's why I focus on my relationship with God. Help me. So, you know what? Whenever I pray, Lord, help me be more patient. You know what
mm.
happens? The more He gives me difficult people to deal with.
I love this. Yeah.
See?
Be careful what you ask for because
Exactly.
ask and it is given. Knock and doors will be opened. This
But
is the power of manifestation.
exactly. But then what is happening? It's helping me as well. Because when I was assigned to a very difficult supervisor at the Asian Development Bank and World Bank, it was very difficult. They don't want to deal with this difficult person. So since I was new, they had to dump all the difficult officers to me. And at the end, I had high blood pressure, hypertension. It started from there. I had my ulcer and so on. But later on, when these two officers, supervisors retired, they were aware that they gave me really a difficult time. One was telling me, "I'm sorry, Cynthia, your time with me was so difficult." And then I told him, "You know what? After my assignment with you, everything was chicken." They're all peanuts. And then he smiled. And the other person was the same thing. he would always tell me, I think you should go back and move to another department. Why won't you just apply for another job? It came to that point, but it was not my fault. I was just doing my job. But later on, when he retired, he even treated me out for lunch. And he told me, Cynthia, in my 35 years at the World Bank, you're, you're the best assistant I've ever had. And for me, that's the best. For me, it's not about success is not about money, position, title. For me, success is how was I able to impact him? And I'm sure throughout my stay, my service with him, I was able to show positivity. That's why he mentioned that to me. And for me, that's something. It gave me so much joy. But it was hard. They all didn't like these people, but I had to go through it. But it helped me. It helped me set my boundaries. It helped me uh, focus on the positive. It all was when they spoke to me, it's all about positivity. And I'm truly grateful that I was able to work with them.
Yeah, beautiful. And what I hear from you, actually, this could be a very good separate topic to talk about, to
Yes.
expand on what toxic positivity is, because the generation is growing. What I see in the new belief that if it doesn't make me happy, I should reject it.
Yeah. It should not be the case.
Yeah, so people try to avoid pain and live only in satisfaction when the path towards love is through pain.
Yes.
And those people who don't want to deal with difficult situations, they disappear in silence. They don't want to put any effort in solving problems. So in that way, they create even more problems. And your way, as I see, was a very healthy positivity that, hey, I know that what I have to bring is positive and good things, but I understand the price of this, that I will need to go through difficult times, but I'm ready and willing if that's what love is.
Yes, yes. And that's why I don't complain. I consider all my my trauma, all my challenges, all my struggles as blessings. Why? Because it made me the person I am right now and helping others as well. So what do you think? So you now your action step, your goal is to give your parents a call. And I'd love to, I hope you would call me afterwards, huh? After your communication with them. And hopefully you'll do it soon because I'm sure
Hopefully.
they look forward to hearing from you. So what do you think would be the major roadblock for you doing this?
With one parent, it's fear. With another parent is, I don't know how even to name it. It's more like anger. The point is that I set the boundary towards my mom, and I feel that if I call her, I will break my own boundary. So I am a bit conflicted in this area still, because we made an agreement. We had a very open communication with her, that I communicated what my needs are in our relationship, and I told that, hey, look, I don't want to be only the one who puts the effort into our relationship. I want you to show up as well. So don't expect only me to call you, but I also want to receive a call from my mom. And she forgot about it again, and she expects me to chase her. And I feel that if I call her, she will win, and I will not stand for my truth. I will not stand for my yeah, for the
I think
boundaries
that's
that I
I,
made.
I think that's just in your mind. Just continue calling her. That's what
Mhm,
I'm doing also for my mom. Every
mhm,
time we have a communication, it ends in an argument. But I always call her every day in the morning,
mhm,
morning and afternoon. And then it's just letting them know I'm showing positivity, showing my love, being your daughter, being your child. And I'm sure at one point it will soften their heart.
mhm,
Just put that in your thoughts that as what I've mentioned, as what you've mentioned, what you nurture will become a reality. So when you
mhm,
nurture that, my mom and I, my dad and I will end in a very loving relationship, a lot healthier than before. How will they see that? It's how you show that love to them.
mhm,
Because when they receive that, I know it's not all about words. Action is is I think it's more effective. So even though, just like what I'm experienced, even though we end up in arguing later on, it's draining. I know it's draining, but being a child, uh, it takes really an effort and energy to go out of our way, be humble enough, and then share your love, share your compassion. Just for me, I'm still doing it, and it's changing, slowly changing because my mom is turning 88. See how fixed her mindset is compared to your mom. Your mom
mhm,
is my age, but I am able to
mhm,
change. It's a lot closer to the younger than my older my parent, my mom. So there
mhm,
I could see a lot more positive results. Again,
mhm.
it's your action, it's how you feel, it's what you nurture. If you nurture that, you'll be having a healthier relationship than before. Action would speak.
Yeah, and you know what? I also feel important to mention that one of my recent lessons as well, that sometimes silence is a medicine. And sometimes
Medicine.
we need to take time and distance from one
Exactly.
another in order to give them space and ourselves space to reflect upon
Mm-hmm.
and see the situation from different perspectives. Because if we are only going into their face with our communication and always showing up, we are not giving time and space to
That's
heal.
why
So that's what I did with myself.
exactly, health and well-being. I keep reminding, health and well-being is very important. Take care of yourself.
Yeah,
Love yourself. Self-care is the key to a healthier relationship with other people. So what,
yeah.
before we end, I love this conversation.
Me too.
It was just so spontaneous, but
And it's flowing.
yes,
It's so naturally flowing.
yes. So what simple advice would you share to our listeners from
Mm.
this conversation, from this from this interview? What do you think um is the I mean your takeaway from this conversation, and wherein you could advise it to the listeners?
Mhm. So what comes to me now, what I really want to share with other people is the relationship with self is the most important, because The way we relate to self will reflect how we relate to others. So if I am judgmental towards myself, if I am judging myself for my mistakes, I will judge mistakes of another person. But if I meet myself with love and compassion and understanding, and I love saying lately, I got this sentence that I will, yes, that's what I want to say, that I will not judge you for your trauma, but I will keep you accountable for healing it.
Yes.
So
That's nice. Beautiful.
applying to self first. Don't judge yourself for your trauma, for the way you behave, because this is what you developed as a coping mechanism, thanks to your trauma, if I can say thanks. But you're not whole, but you're responsible. So take accountability, heal it within yourself, and based on the same advice, treat others. Don't judge others for their trauma, but also don't be a doormat that they can treat you in any way. Set the boundaries, meet them with love, but don't let their trauma get into you.
Mhm.
So the way you treat
Hey,
yourself, treat others.
beautiful. That's the golden rule. I'm always guided by the golden rule. Do unto others what you want others to do unto you. Oh my,
Yeah.
I love this interview. And thank you so much, Ligita, for being here with me. And spending time with me. It was worth the time and waking up early morning because I've learned so much from you as well. And we had this,
Mm,
as what I've shared, we are on the same road, right? The same path.
mm,
We're going through the same path. But the important thing is we're now taking action. Okay?
Yes, Cynthia, thank you so much. I really enjoyed every single minute of our meeting, and I really wish you all the best with your study. And I know that you are on a very right path. We both are, and yeah, just sending you much love from me.
Same here, sending you hugs and love. And I'm praying that everything will work out well with you and your parents. I know it will work out well. Okay? And
Yeah,
keep me updated. Okay?
yeah, sure.
Uh-huh. Okay, thank you so much to our listeners. And this is a wonderful episode again. And I look forward to sharing with you another episode in the future. Okay, thank you, Ligita, and have a blessed day.
You too. Bye.
Bye.